Neil, it was some introduction, wasn't it, to Leeds United yesterday?
Yeah, it was a fantastic welcome. From turning up at the ground with the supporters, it's been a very. I think really that was the pull for me over the last few days. I've never been so popular really over the last few days. It's unusual for me, but it was great to be wanted by a number of clubs, and the crowd at Elland Road's always been special when I've come with Sheffield United, as you can imagine, and I just felt it was the right club at this moment in time. What they were looking for and what I were looking for, and I think it hopefully could be a good mix.
All happened pretty quickly then.
Yes, it did. Yes, I've not slept for about 3 days for different things. I thought I was going one place one day and the next, and then I was in Monaco, and talking to the chairman, and it was very positive about what he said, and I think he understood where I was coming from as well, really. And rather than delaying things, we decided to get it done. We were going to try and leave it a couple of days, but I felt it was important if I was coming to be actually there against Doncaster. I wanted to be, have an input against Doncaster, and I was glad I was there, really.
Yeah, I mean, there were other clubs obviously interested in your services this week. You've said you feel you've got one more challenge in you. Leeds the most attractive out of the options you had.
It's just a fantastic club, isn't it? I mean, when you could just come into the training ground, it's the club itself is one of the top, must be top half a dozen clubs in the country. The support, there's no local rivals. It's just one club, City. It's nearly, I think it's is it the third or fourth biggest city in the country. It's got every ingredient, and Yorkshire people. I've really enjoyed myself at QPR, and it broke my heart, if I'm honest. When I left, but I just felt that it was a similar situation when I took over at QPR. The fans. You said, well, we didn't really want you, Warnock, but we're glad you've come, and I think the Yorkshire people are like that. I think they appreciate straight people, really, and that's how I feel. You come and you give it your best, and I feel I've got something to contribute to the club.
Obviously, just 6 weeks on as well from leaving QPR, so you obviously felt you just wanted to get right back into it.
Well, yeah, I mean, at my age, you haven't got that long and left. I think. The way that I manage with a lot of energy, and that's the way I am, and I demands are very strict to what I want from my players, and but I enjoy it, and I want to enjoy it, and as long as I keep enjoying it, then I'm going to manage, and if I don't enjoy it, that's I will call it a day. So it's that's I think the difference is having the drive, and that's what I wanted. I wanted a club that sends hairs up my back, and when you listen to the crowd I can't remember jumping as high for a third goal, if I'm honest, in my career, but it's it was good to see the player talk to the players and get a response that we did at half time. I thought was excellent yesterday, in the Doncaster game.
And Ken Bates has finally got you as his manager. I mean, he tried this 20 odd years ago, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. We had a couple of talks, and I was ashamed. I was just starting in my career, really, and I didn't think. I thought London was, going down below Watford was. I didn't think anybody lived or survived down there. It was a wakening up call, and I went twice, and I got stopped on the motorway for about 4 hours on both occasions, and I wasn't really into that. And the lads at Notts County put a lot of pressure on me to stay and help them out, because we'd gone 2 promotions in 2 years. And I felt morally obliged to do that, if I'm honest. So I think Ken appreciated it. I thought he was surprised when I turned the offer down. And over the years, a number of people have told me how stupid I was to do that. But I always do stupid things, When I left Notts County, I went to Torquay for 17 games, and they were the bottom of the league, all the leagues. So I'm not sort of a predictable person, and that's what I like about football. I love putting smiles on people's faces and supporters, going away from grounds, enjoying the games. And last few years I've done well at Crystal Palace and QPR. They were both clubs, that needed a bit of a lift, and I think I did that. And I think Leeds are in a similar situation now. Having done a great job, and I think Simon's had a fabulous job, bringing him up to the level that we're at as well. So it's good to come in at this moment in time.
I think people are interested in how your relationship's going to pan out with Ken Bates. So, what's it like now? How did the meeting go? In Monaco last week.
Well, I think there's a lot said about that. And when I took over at Crystal Palace, the headlines were, me and Simon Jordan. It was just impossible, And the same thing with Ken Bates. I think that what the thing about the chairman is, for me, is you look at the good things and the bad things, and I think he does a lot of good things at the time, and I'm not trying to creep round him now by saying that. I'd say it if he was here, but I think there's times that you need to tell him what you feel is right for the club, and he has to listen. And I think with me, we have that relationship where I respect him and he respects me, and we're both at an age where we want to do well. Make no mistake. That's why I've come here, and I think he appreciates that.
7 promotions you've got as well during your managerial career. Just how much do you want that 8th one?
Well, it is, one of the reasons for coming was to there was an opportunity there, and the size of the club, it is geared for that situation. Yes, we have to. I think it's fair to say the squad has to be improved, but it's also there's a lot of players here, so we have to prune it at the same time, and the challenge is there to try and get a team. Basically, when you come as a manager, you usually say it's going to take me 2 or 3 years to build a club. Well, I ain't got 2 or 3 years, so I don't want that. I want to try and win every game and see where it takes us, and that's how I said on Saturday to the players. The situation is we have to beat Doncaster Rovers. There's no anything else about it, and that's what I felt before the game and at half time. And the lads responded in a fabulous way, because we could have lost that game quite easily. And then we move on now. We have a week's training. I expect them to be a little bit better next weekend, and ready for Southampton at home the following week. And that's what we've got to be. We've got to sort of grab the opportunity now and try and get as many points on board as we can.
You obviously discussed strengthening of the squad, and as you say, players that you're going to have to sort of move on as well. With regard to this season, you can't do a huge amount, but will you be looking at doing some business?
Yeah, the chairman's been supportive. When I spoke to the chairman, he knows I feel we need 2 or even 3 players in, if we get the right ones in, to supplement what we've already got. I think Wyn Williams will be trying it as well to sort of let 1 or 2 players go out, as will my staff, and that's what we'll be working at. If we could get the lift, ideally I'd love to get somebody in before the weekend. Having watched the game and a few of the DVDs of previous games, I do feel there are areas we have to improve quickly if without writing this season off. I don't want to write this season off just yet, even though we haven't. I would imagine with the bookies not much opportunity this season.
So in that sense, have you discussed longer term? Has it just been a focus on this season, or have you discussed the summer plans for
No. I think we have to just with me and Ken, the chairman, I think we just have to worry about next week. I don't think you mind me saying that, but we both. I think we excite each other, and we want to do well, and if I do well, he does well, and vice versa. So it's an opportunity now to put to bed differences with all what the problems that you've had over the last few months and etc. And everybody get behind the team now. We've only got 14 games, for heaven's sake. So let's put them to bed and let's get on with everybody. Like yesterday, I thought everybody was behind the team yesterday, and it's a great club when that happens, and that's what I'd like to do.
Yeah, there's a feeling that yesterday and your appointment, the win, it could be that spark that brings it all together, for the final running, really.
I think so. I think it needed something like that at the club. Looking from the outside, players need to be told. You have to have a leader really around the place, and it's such a massive club. And Neil Redfern did a really good job in holding the fort. But it's an absolute massive club. So I think he was. Neil was quite relieved at the same time, and he's a smashing lad. So the heart's in the right place, and if I can help what's already here, the off the field, everything's top of the Premiership, isn't it? Everything's geared for that. So we've just got to try and make sure that the lads on the pitch, we don't throw any opportunities away, which probably the last 2 or 3 games were opportunities missed, really.
What about your relationship with the Leeds fans then? It's been a bit fun at times, hasn't it, over the years?
Well, I think so, but I think if I'm honest, I've got to say over the last few days, I've had a few interviews, and the pleasing thing for me was listening to different TV stations and radio stations and listening to what the actual fans thought about me, and I've got to say I was very pleased with that, and that was instrumental in my thinking this was the right move. I thought it was, it's nice to be wanted, and I don't know many. I'm sure there will be a few, but I don't know many that weren't really pleased to see me, and that's great for me. That means it gives me an opportunity to repay people like that, and you know, get people smiling in.
What about your backroom team? I mean, have you got all that in place now?
No, not quite. No, I mean Mick Jones will be coming with me, my assistant, and I'll be making a couple of appointments. I'm sure in the not too distant future.
As far as the performance as well against Doncaster, I imagine there's a lot that you've seen there that you're going to take on at the training pitch this week.
Yeah, I mean, I wish now that I'd have put my name on the bench. I could have done. There were a space. Andy Leaning asked me before the game, but I thought no. But you know, 10 minutes gone, I wish I could have gone down onto the bench. If I'm honest, it was frustrating for me. Only little thing, nothing drastic, but things that I expect to take for granted, you know, were difficult. And I think when we did change things second half, you know, we changed a number of things second half, and I thought it worked a lot better, and that's without actually showing the lads on the training ground, which now we've got a week. I expect us to be better at Portsmouth and a lot better against Southampton. So we're going to be working hard over the next couple of weeks to implement what I feel will give us a better chance.
And you said yesterday, you know, it's just some of the basics really that, you know, the team needs to do.
Yeah, it's only the way I am, the way I want things. Every manager has different aspects, you know, and the way I demand things from players, it's you know, they've got to know what I want them to do in a certain situation and without thinking, and that's what I'm going to try and do over the next couple of weeks, you know, because we haven't got a long time left.
You're going to look at other things like captain, for example. I mean, is that something you might change?
Well, I've got to get in the door first. Then just got to get through the door and have a look what there is, you know, or the media guy.
It's going to be an interesting few months, isn't it now?
Yeah, that's right. Very interesting. Yeah, I think it's a great club, and you know, it's been nice to put the smile back on people's faces.